Good morning, race fan. Brian Davis races, and you can too. Today we are going cyclocross racing, and I'm so excited. This is called Pumpkin Cross. It's in Grafton, Wisconsin. It's about an hour and a half from my house. I feel good. Like last time I did a cross race in the, what was that? Trek, at the Trek World Cup. I felt so much better than I ever have in a cross race for the first like minute and a half, 2 minutes. So hopefully that feeling sticks around today and I can stay with the leaders a little bit longer. So that's what I'm hoping for. We're gonna give her today. We're gonna give her. That's what's gonna happen. All right, so I have my cross bike ready to go. You may notice my sweet Spinergy wheels. I don't really talk about these much, which is unfortunate because I love these wheels and they made them up custom for me. And it's perfect for Halloween cyclocrossing because it's, you know, kind of a candy corn motif. Okay, I think I'm all packed up. Let's go racing. Okay, we made it to Grafton. We're here. This Grafton might be like the world's most difficult place to get to because it's not anywhere near a highway. So that was quite a lot of. I got all my stuff ready just in case the course opens up while I'm over there checking out registration or whatever else. So ready, just in case. Ready.
It's fun. It's a lot of back and forth, twisty, off-camber corners and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
What's over there that's hard? Is it a big hill or something?
It's a big hill. You get to the top, go back halfway back down, and U-turn off-camber, and then go back up.
Perfect. Are those running hills then, or are they rideable?
Rideable.
Okay. There's a lot of turns. I think turns per square inch, this course wins. Long laps, lots of turns. All right, race fan, let's get going. Here we go. The hole shot, I screwed that up straight away. We got a problem already, folks. We got a problem already. So I don't know what the issue was, but I screwed it up. So I am running the speed on this race at 1.25 because I go really slow in cross, so I want to speed it up a little bit. Now here is the problem. Right there, my chain fell right into my frame, between my frame and my big ring, or little ring rather. So it's jammed up. I'm trying to shift it out of the way. That ain't gonna happen. It is jammed into the frame. So a good solid yank later, and I am finally up and running again. Now you might remember this happened to me at the cross race in Trek, at the World Cup. So that was unfortunate way to start the race because I had a bad hole shot and I had this chain issue. So now I'm way on the back foot trying to catch up with everybody, and it's not going to be an easy fight. And it's also like mentally in my head. So now I'm thinking I'm a little bit of, changing tactics because it's going to be very, very difficult for me to get back into contention, if not impossible. Well, spoiler. Impossible. So I'm thinking like, well, how can I still salvage today and make it a good experience? And it was a beautiful day. It was a great course, so there wasn't much to worry about and still having fun racing my bike. But what could I work on to like enhance skills or get better at stuff? So anyway, I got the pre-ride done. I didn't get through the entire lap, but I got through most of it. So what I'm going to do is run through this first lap at that elevated pace, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of a couple tips about the sand pit. Not that I'm an expert, but I wanted to point out one thing that I felt I figured out during the race that I got a little bit better at. And I also found a place to practice cross that has a beach volleyball court, so I'm going to spend a little more time over there after experiencing this little bit of sand and how much trouble it was for me. I just need to practice a little bit more. So a couple of things, racing cross I want to point out too is like what's tricky with cross is you see, this is a good example. This trail goes up and to the right? Now, if you follow that trail, that was maybe not the best scene of an example because I slowed down, but later in the race, I was able to rail that turn without hitting the brakes. I just had to go wider than the trail. So wherever the trail was beat in is fine. It's hard when you're racing cross to ignore what the trail is telling you because we're so sort of ingrained with following trails. And it is less rolling resistance if we're on the trail versus the grass. But you can carry more speed if you ignore the trail and just run between the tape. So if your shoulders and elbows are not touching tape on a regular basis during a cross race, you're probably leaving a lot of speed on the table. Yeah. So anyway, this course was tricky for a couple reasons. The grass was, was fine. It wasn't terrible, but these hills were just relentless. So this big hill that we just went up halfway down and then come back up again, man, that took so many watts, and it took a lot of effort for me to get back up there. It was about like the third lap. I was really contemplating just how much pain I was in every time I was going up in that. So I was telling somebody yesterday, like, I'm not used to my legs hurting during the actual effort. Certainly afterwards you get all that soreness, but during the race to have your legs actually be sore, that was a unique experience. So anyway, now I caught a couple folks and I'm trying to make some passes, but I'm still so gassed from that effort. And that fella, I don't know where he was going. He lost the script there, but bless his heart. I didn't follow him. That's good. Picked up an extra spot. So, all right, now this is the first time we're going to shoot through this sand. So pay attention here. There's a nice downhill to accumulate some speed. And if you hit the sand like a freight train, you're probably going to make it through. Like that person ahead of me made it through. I made it through barely, but this section, when I did the loop and came back around, I always lost, and that person lost it too. I always lost that rut. So later in the race, I got a little bit better at it a couple times, but certainly the second time was harder, and the first time was always like nerve-wracking, right? Like, am I going to make it through this thing? So one of the tips I wanted to point out, and I'll give a little more detail on how to do this, but is to look way ahead of the bike, especially when you're hitting sand or sections or ruts where you need to be in a very specific spot. Look ahead of the bike, and I'm going to give you something to practice with. So if you want to work on this, which I do frequently, is when next time you're out riding your bike, especially your cross bike or mountain bike, jump on a curb on a street and try to see how long you can stay on that curb. And what you'll find over time is the further ahead you look down the curb, the longer that you'll be able to stay on that curb, right? Okay, so work on that. That's how you're going to be able to stay in a straight line longer. That's also going to help your road riding too. If you're trying to like stay on the white line, or you're trying to just hold your line in a pace line or something like that, the further ahead you look, generally the better off you are. Okay. Now, we get through this first section. This course is kind of like in two sections, and this is the transition area to get to the second section. Now, what's happening here is this is actually a headwind section, and it's just sort of sapping your energy. There wasn't a ton of wind, but there was enough, especially in this section, where it was just like, this is difficult, especially after you just powered through some of those hills and, the sand, and then there's a lot of switchbacks after the sand. Now we get a good recovery time, but then, like I said, this is in the headwind, so if you really want to put some power down, this would be the place to do it. And then these turns here, I think this turn, if I get up to the tape, now later in the race I went up to the tape because I figured out, again, that turn I could go much faster if I just hung it a little bit wider and got off the trail and focused on feeling the corner and what's going to give me the most speed. So certainly a bad start, a mechanical, and then because I don't get to these races early enough to get a bunch of pre-rides, I'm still learning the course for the first lap. So it's frankly going to be difficult for me to be competitive no matter how fit I am, just because I'm giving myself some of these disadvantages. Now, this was a run-up for most people. I tried it every time on my bike, and I got it to within like a half a pedal stroke of clearing it, but I just couldn't quite do it. So I wasn't gonna. I didn't want to analyze that one because that was it's just such a unique feature. But the sand one, I think we can analyze a little bit more carefully. So we're finishing up our first lap here, and then we're going to go through some of these sand things. There wasn't a whole lot that happened after this race. I pretty much stayed in this spot. I finished, I think there was like 16 people, and I finished 14th or 13th. So I didn't grab many spots after I dropped the chain and had the bad start. So, yeah, what are you going to do? And then fitness-wise, I felt like I was fairly fit going into the race, but the morning of this race, I just had all kinds of congestion and blowing snot everywhere, and I don't know, I just didn't feel... I felt good, but it just had felt like I was dealing with a lot of other stuff. So, oh yeah, I just wanted to show you that little crash there, so that was fun. Now what happened there is it's an off-camber, actually it is well, it's just straight uphill with a turn, right? So then I put my pedal down, pedal skipped into the ground, and this created my issue there. So I hit my pedal strike, and then I went into that, what you call it, stanchion or stake or whatever you want to call it. So, okay, now, I don't know what's, okay, here's the sand again. So trying to look ahead, looked like, so when I got better at it throughout the course of the race, I was looking like probably 6 to 8 feet ahead of the bike. And the faster you go, obviously, the further ahead you're looking. I almost made it through the second time there. So here's another round. This is a whole nother lap later. Nope, that one was terrible. Didn't make the first round. Certainly not going to make the second after having that. But I try. Right. Fail. All right, here's another shot. And I figured out if I brought more speed down this hill, it didn't really matter the line because I could just hit it hard enough that it didn't make a huge difference. But, you know, if you can stay in a rut, you're better. So that was a good one. Made it through really nicely on that one. Let's see how far I make it this time. And, oh, fail. Now I'm pedaling with one leg in it to get over that. So, again, my tip for the sand, look further ahead, put your weight back over your rear wheel, and then just keep pedaling. Power, 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 power. Lots and lots of power is how you get through sand, and throwing your weight back a little bit further toward the back of the bike. That's my pro tip on sand. If anyone else has thoughts on sand, please leave them in the comments below. I want to thank everybody for watching the channel today. I got 2 more rounds of sand to show you, and then we'll finally be done. So please smash the like button. I mean, like, just maybe don't smash it. Be gentle. Just give it a little tickle. And you can hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified when I put out new stuff. I got another race or 2 in cyclocross, and then I'm really going to hit fat biking. I'm going to work on, I've been vegetarian for the last 2.5, 3 months. So I've been working on doing maybe a couple of little quick recipes for you guys. I know you don't love the kitchen stuff, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. Now my GoPro died. I got a new GoPro 10, by the way, which I'm super excited about, but the battery died quicker than I thought it would. So I got to maybe not capture 4K.
Chain fell.
There you go.
That works out. A lovely excuse. Hour, 2 minutes. Average power 309. Normalized 285. Honestly, I don't know if I have much more left than that.